Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on a potential change of heart from David Lauer, and we're also going to be looking at a possible apology that he may have just shared. We're also going to be looking at MMTLP Studios and some of the great work that they are doing. And before we make a start, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So quick headline here from Yahoo Finance. So in the article here, we can see that two Federal Reserve officials suggested Friday morning that inflation could persist longer than previously thought. We know that the Fed have got a 2% target year on year, and it's unlikely that this is going to be met. So let's have a look at how the market's reacted to this news today. And we can see it's almost a clean sweep of red everywhere except for banking, which was the only sector just to finish in green. Before we look at David Lauer's apparent U-turn, let's have a look at, first of all, his initial position on MMTLP. So at the top it states here, his position earlier shared today on social media was that I am still skeptical that people are pointing the blame at FINRA, because generally my understanding is that FINRA isn't involved in this way and that the blame should really be on an OTC markets or the issuer. So that's his position. The other thing is he also very strangely believes that at the bottom it states here, the alternative way to interpret the fact is that FINRA was defrauded into listing it in the first place. So I'm not sure how FINRA was a victim of fraud. That's a very strange opinion, and we know that MMTLP was the victim of fraud with the false signatures. So how are FINRA the victims of fraud? Very, very strange. So in response to that message, shout out here to Rare DD, who's responded to that message and stated that David... Let's now have a look at one of the responses to that message from David Lauer. So shout out here to Rare DD, who stated the issue with David Lauer is he can't imagine anyone at FINRA being malicious. So David Lauer had a position that FINRA were the most clean-cut of organisations. Obviously, we know that's not true. And he stated here that he's responding to the MMTLP corporate action as is, but ignoring the possibility that FINRA just didn't convey what the company requested. We know that John Berta informed them that the signatures on the Form 211 were not from the company, so FINRA had a responsibility, duty of care, legal obligation to throw that ticker away and not make it trade, but they ignored that. And we also know on record that John Berta has stated that FINRA failed to show up with a meeting, which is highly unprofessional, with the DTCC and John Berta. So just imagine they're sat there waiting, twiddling their thumbs for FINRA to turn up. FINRA have not sent any message and they've just not turned up, not communicated. And this is obviously the so-called clean-cut organisation that David Lauer previously thought existed. Let's now have a look at David Lauer's apparent change of heart. So he just posted here a few minutes ago and he states here, I don't think I was clear enough yesterday about MMTLP. I think that FINRA has really screwed up the entire situation. So if you remember, he had a great opportunity with that Space Chat meeting and with Gary Gensler. He failed to address the issue of MMTLP, he failed to address the issue of naked shorting, synthetic shares, the problems with investors losing their livelihoods, pensions, IRAs, and even going as far as saying people lost their lives. So he did not represent investors as well as he could have done, and it was a great opportunity. So he's also saying here, individual investors was misled into thinking trading would take place. This is not okay. So this is a complete turnaround from David Lauer, and it's positive. So maybe we should give him benefit of the doubt for now, but let's see what else he states at the in his thread. He states that FINRA needs to come out and be radically transparent. They need to explain what happened and what the full share count to audit shows, even if we're under investigations. If the books are reconciled, that need to be shown. If they're not, it needs to happen. So strong words from David here. I am going to welcome these words. And finally, he stated here, it's a terrible situation. People have been hurt. I will do everything I can push FINRA to figure this out and make it right, even through transparency or action. So what I will say to David is, great words, but now we are looking for action, and we know that action speaks louder than words. So I'm now going to share with you my initial first response to this thread from David Lauer, and what I stated here is, David, I hope you are not playing an April Fool's on us. It takes a big man to accept he was wrong, and I'm not sure how big you are. David has responded and he stated, I am often wrong. So that's positive. Cody has chipped in and said, thank you for spreading our very important message. So we will give you the benefit of the doubt, but obviously we need action fast. Continuing with the theme of good news, I'd like to give a shout out here to Rocky, who's just posted a link, a very important link to the Jon Stewart show that was aired yesterday. And the good news is we did get some positive exposure, so special thanks to Jon Stewart for sharing some news with regard to MMTLP. So what Rocky has done is shared the link there to go ahead and listen to this exposure, and it states here, taking a break from spaces, but please share. I'll get the whole thing up later today. I might have a reaction video disproving David lies, but obviously this was before David's just posted. But if Jon can benefit MMTLP and give us a bit more exposure, that would also be really positive. What I'd now like to do is share with you some important information with regard to MMTLPstudios.com. So this is a post that I shared earlier today, and it states here, MMTLP Studios are collecting your personal video stories. Please go to the Film My Story at MMTLPstudios.com. There is an alternative form that you can fill in, and they will read out your story on your behalf if you so wish. But now let's go on ahead and check their website out. So when you go to the website, you'll get this important message here. People around the world invest in the US stock market to provide for their families, businesses and retirements, to live their best lives without systematic change, to combat the creation of counterfeit shares by criminals of Wall Street. Those financial plans, those dreams for financial security are at serious risk. So very, very important message there. And with regard to capturing your story, so if you go to the link at the top where it states Film My Story, you can capture your story, and they will give you step-by-step instructions. I believe there is also an option to have a system where your voice and face are removed for privacy reasons if you so wish. So go ahead and share your story, even if you have already shared it, and this should be great exposure for us going forward. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.